For many years, football in Minnesota was a primitive game. Its players were as rugged as the tundra-like turf they played on. Among them, no man better personified the Viking image than a stumpy, flat-topped fullback named Bill Brown. As the NFL moved toward its years of glamour, Bill Brown was a reminder of its primeval past. Lacking both speed and grace, Brown made his best moves by simply lowering his head. He played football like a man who might have been happier in that long-ago era of no substitutions, no timeouts, and no helmets.
Bill is the toughest guy I think that ever played in the NFL. I really believe that. He had no concern for his body at all, and I think Van Brocklin gave him the name Hammerhead because one day he was going in for a touchdown and he either stumbled or got tripped or something, and he ran right into the goalpost with his head and put a big dent in the helmet, and they had to carry him off, but he come back and finished that game.
Well, I feel that a good fullback should go straight ahead and go for the goal line in a direct route or a direct line, and this is the way I feel that I can get the most out of it. I can get there quicker. I'm not fancy like a halfback, so I'd rather go right at it and get where I can. I didn't have a lot of fancy moves, so I never used them. I tried it for a while. It didn't work very good. I got laid out a lot that way. I wasn't good at turning my side to somebody and trying to go around them. I was better off going over them.
Neanderthal man, never been one like him. Today he still has his crew cut. Came into the league with a crew cut and the bow legs. Was willing to do anything. Was the typical hard-nosed football player. Great blocker. Could run with the best of them, inside, outside. Terrific pass receiver. I think one year when I played there, he set a league record for backs catching touchdown passes. I think he caught 10 touchdown passes out of the backfield. Ended his career as captain of the special teams. He went down and he was the wedge buster in his middle 30s on our special teams.
I did not take it as being disgraceful to play on the special teams where a lot of people did. That was my time to get back at some of the dudes that were hitting me all day. I think only fair you should get a shot back, right? You don't just take it all day and not get an opportunity to stick somebody back. I think it was probably in my temperament and my way of thinking when I grew up that that's the way you play the game. I like to go out and I like to play the sport where you learn to stick your helmet in the middle of their stomach. That was where you learned it. I never felt it was degrading to play on those teams. And I think if you get a chance, you'd love to play anytime. Hell, if I could have played defense, I'd love to play defense too.
Well, Bill was the epitome of what a football player should be. I mean, Bill Brown is one of the few people I know who enjoyed training camp. I mean, he loved training camp. He loved to play football. If you would walk in and say, okay, everybody's going to take a 50% cut in salary, you know, half of the players would have left. Bill Brown would have never left. I mean, he'd have played for nothing. He loved football. I mean, when we got to cold weather, Bill never put on a sweatshirt in his life. And you know, he would never played with anything but short sleeves. I don't care how cold it was. And he really didn't feel like he'd accomplished anything till his face was bloody. And, you know, he was a throwback.
We talked about Bill as being, you know, a throwback to the Neanderthal time of pro football, and he was, of any football. He played the game the way the amateurs play it, out of pure love. He played it with his shirt tail flying, and he played it running into the goalpost. Winning was big, but the biggest thing in his life was to play the game as hard, as fiercely as God let him do it. And that was almost orgasmic with him. It was important for him to do everything full throttle. There had been difficulty in his family life because of illness. And he has emerged as a very warm, caring person, not only for his family, but for people similarly afflicted. And the sight of, this rough-hewn creature being so thoughtful and gentle has inspired a lot of people here. A real human being, tough guy, a guy you want on your football team. You go into an alley, there's the guy you want at your side. You'll come out.
He was like a Will Rogers. They say nobody ever disliked Will Rogers. Nobody ever disliked Bill Brown.
The ice age of Minnesota football is now a warm memory. But the Viking image will always be linked to those Stone Age warriors. Among them, no player or person tougher than a stumpy, bow-legged fullback named Bill Brown.